my two sons said to their sister, if we bring her to the hospital and there's nothing wrong with her, there's going to be hell to pay. There's going to be. So we went to the local hospital, and they put me through what I later found out was an MRI machine. And these are not the exact words of the doctor, but later on, my daughter told me that the doctor from the local hospital came out with fear in his face. And he said, your mother has a brain tumor, and it's a doozy. Now, I don't think any doctor's using that word, but you never know. So my son-in-law, who happens to be a nurse, he made some calls. In Brooklyn, we love to say you had connections. I worked for people that had connections. They're in the federal jail. Oh, shit. Now, the nurse came back in, and I was going to really be sweet to her because I wanted to get in that bathroom by myself. And I said to her, can I just go in and use the bathroom by myself? And she said, yes, but you must promise me you will go nowhere near the shower. I said, all right. I mean, there's no need to get testy. As soon as I was in that bathroom, I jumped into the shower. I jumped in the shower and I put my hands up to wash my hair, and that's when I realized my whole head was covered in gauze. And I thought, but by this time, the nurse, the sitter, and a security guard were in the bathroom with me. And they were saying, come down very slowly, come down. Now, I heard the sitter with her friends, there was a rumor that somebody took a bite out of a nurse's arm the day before. Uh-oh. Oh, I was on a wacky floor. I mean, one of my nephews came to visit, and he said to me, what floor is this? And I said, it's not a psych ward, but it's as close to a psych ward as I want to get. And so the nurse said, come down, come down, come down slowly, come down really slowly. And here, take this pill, and it'll make you feel better. They think every solution is, we'll get you a warm blanket. We'll give you want a warm blanket? No, I don't want a warm blanket. Show me the fucking exercise. And I walked to this conference room. Now, when I walked into the conference room, my family was there, and the doctors, and my family was sitting on one side of the table, and all these doctors were sitting on the other side, and it looked like, and they had papers all over the table. Now, I thought I was back in an office working for the gangsters. And I was the boss, because they had me run the office, and I thought I had to tell people what to do, and I said, let me see those papers down here, like, hand the papers. And my daughter said to me, Mom, what we're here for is we want to know what you want to do. And I said, well, I'd first like to find the exercise. And that's when this one doctor took over, and I realized he was the boss. He was a Latino man. I actually asked him what country he hailed from, and he said he was Brazilian. Oh my God, he had the darkest eyes, the blackest hair. He was so, my heart can still flutter thinking of him. And he explained to me that he was the oncologist, and that a neurological oncologist, and that that I had a rare form of lymphoma of the brain, and that it wasn't a solid tumor, but rather a paste, and it goes through your brain, and as it goes through your brain, it forms, when the doctors look through whatever these magic machines are that they have so many load of fucking machines here. They told me sonogram, and you didn't know what you were going to do. Send me any place, I don't care, and just so that I can get out of that bed. I mean, they had a plastic covering in the mattress that I couldn't sleep at night because it felt like you were sleeping on a shower curtain. They said, "You want a warm blanket?" No, I want my own bed at home. So the doctor explained that this, as the paste goes through your brain, it forms what looks like what appears to be a butterfly, and so they call it a butterfly tumor. And when I heard this doctor, this handsome man, say butterfly with the hint of Spanish coming in that English, I thought, oh my God, it takes my breath away. I mean, that's a lovely word. And they had the papers piled up, and I said, where do I sign? I said, there's no more discussion. I mean, there doesn't have to be any discussion. Give me the papers and show me what line I sign on, and you children can go home. Leave mother with the doctor. Oh, what a heavenly man he was. I mean, and so what I did was, now there were all these other doctors, and they explained to me that I was agreeing to enter a trial and that I was going to have a stem cell transplant. I knew nothing about what any of this meant. I didn't know anything. I mean, people talked to me about how they knew when they went in, they questioned, they knew up front, and then they said to the doctor, I didn't know anything. I mean, I just said, it's a handsome Brazilian doctor, I like the word butterfly, you kids go home and leave me here. And the nurse has some nice pills for me, and God bless you. And I have a friend with the IV pole. So I actually surrendered. I mean, which is very difficult. I mean, that's something. I mean, I didn't completely surrender. I mean, I was giving them a hard time. Like, I saw some air conditioning engineers in the hallway one day, and I used to have to supervise them when I was working for the gangsters. And they were doing something, and then I smelled an odor in my room, and so I protested and refused to go into my room. I got a wheelchair, I found a wheelchair, and I sat out in the hall, and all the nurses came and said, Mrs. Candaras, you have to go back in your room. And I said, I'm not going in your room. I'm not going in my room. I'm not going in the room. And I said, well, you send your mother in the room? And I mean, my daughters came and said, you look like a street fighter. What are you doing? Now, when I was in that conference room, when I told the doctors, I said, I'm signing these papers, but somebody has to find me a podiatrist, because my podiatrist is in Brooklyn, and I need a podiatrist. It didn't dawn on anybody to tell me you don't need a podiatrist, Mrs. Candaras. You are not going to have any nails at a funeral. And then, I woke up and there were clumps of hair, and I said, what's going on here? And my son-in-law explained, he said, you're going to have to get a buzz cut. It was really devastating for me. He said, you're going to have to get that hair, you're going to have to get it buzzed off because it's going to keep falling out. And I felt really bad, and he said, no, what we'll do is we'll get you some very long earrings, and we'll get you a lovely scarf. And you'll have a very dignified look. You look like a professor. Get the fuck out of here. And then other people come when you have no hair, and they say, you have a nicely shaped head. It's a lucky thing I didn't have a fucking gun.